Salary time allocation is used to assign salaried employee wages to departments, projects, profit centers, locations, and any production details that you're using in your data. Even if you are using account distributions to distribute salaried employee wages based on a formula, there still might be times that the allocation needs to be modified for a particular pay run. And that can be done from the Processes menu under Salary Time Allocation, or if you're using accounting with payroll, your menu will be Processes Payroll, Salary Time Allocation. The employees that come up on the list are the employees that you've selected as the pay method of salary. And we're going to select one of our employees and click the Add button at the bottom. That displays our grid with the employee at the top and the company that the employee is assigned to and the earning that is assigned to this particular employee. What we'll want to do is put in the end date of the pay period that we're going to be paying him in. We're going to put in the 20th and the number of hours that he is in, that's in his work week. When the grid comes up, it will default to what is normally assigned to this employee. So it came up with the Department of Corporate, and it has a check mark in account distribution. This employee's salary is getting distributed. We'll go take a look at that. If we, first of all, go check what distribution is getting used, we can click the detail button, and we see it's using corporate pay allocation. And if we go up to Setup, Accounts and Distributions, and edit corporate, we can see how that's getting distributed. 69% is going to the store's profit center, and then that is also getting allocated to different locations based on those percentages. 12% is going to bike tours and lessons, 14% to fishing tours and lessons, and 5% to ski lessons. In our salary time allocation, we're going to divide out. We're going to say that normally this is what happens in a work week for this employee and how it should get distributed. But this particular week, he was helping out in the bike tours, and he spent an entire day just doing bike tours. So instead of it going 40 hours to this combination, we're going to change this to 32 hours. And as we then go to the next line, it'll put the remaining amount of our total hours minus the 32 in the next line of the 8 hours. And now we can make whatever changes we want to do on this next line. So we're going to say that he was in tours department, tours and lessons department, this whole 8 hours. And we're not going to use the account distribution. By undoing the account distribution, it opens up the fields for the profit center and location. So now we can put in what we want here. And he was doing bike tours and lessons, and he was working at the Colorado store. So this particular pay run, instead of the $5,576 going totally to corporate and being distributed, now 8 hours of it, it took 8 divided by the total 40 times the rate and came up with the $1,115.38 that's going to be allocated just to tours and lesson, bike tours for the profit center and the Colorado store. And we're going to put a project in here too of Rocky Mountain High because that was a tour he was working on. At this point we're able to save it. We can make as many different divisions here as needed. If the case were that your employee only needs one combination of details, then you don't need to use the salary time allocation. That could be done directly in the pay run. But this is a way to get your different proportions when the employee works in different combinations. So we're going to click Save, and when we click Save, this is making a timesheet. Even though if we go up to Processes and Timesheets, we're not going to see that here because it's a salary type of earning, and the timesheets are only looking at hourly and piece rate type earnings. So we're not going to see that here, but if we now go do our pay run, we're going to do a new pay run, click New. and pick our company. Whoops, sorry about that. And then change our dates to the dates that we used, which was the 20th for the end date, and select Berry. Before we do that, up at the top, there is a checkbox for exclude default pay amounts. You're going to want to check to exclude them so that it is not bringing in his salary amount into regular earnings this time, because we're going to be importing it from the timesheet. So if we didn't uncheck this, you would see his rate coming in regular and in the timesheet earnings. If this pay run happens to be a combination of salary people that aren't coming in through timesheets, then you might want to go ahead and leave it unchecked. You can also zero out the rate in the regular earnings if need be. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select Jerry, and now we can import the timesheets. And it went out and found our 2 timesheets. And now we're going to go to Enter Pay. And we see that under regular earnings, it's 0. It still has his rate listed over here, but it didn't bring it in because we had that checkbox checked over here of exclude default pay amount. But it is under timesheet earnings. And under timesheet earnings, you can expand and collapse that. Under timesheet earnings, we can see that it's divided how we said. We have 32 hours that went to corporate department, and notice there's no profit center project or anything there. That profit center information is going to be coming through the account distribution when this pay run posts. But on our 8 hours has the profit center of bike tours and lessons and the project Rocky Mountain and the department as we defined it in that salary time allocation. So we are now ready to save this pay run and go and print our checks and then see what happened in our posting. So I'm going to go ahead and post this, give this a check number. And our pay run has posted, and we're going to run a general ledger. I have a general ledger here that I have grouped by profit center and project so we can see what happened in this pay run. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. So here is Jerry's pay that we just paid him on the 20th. And you can see that under bike tours and lessons, there is still a section that didn't get grouped by a project of like this Rocky Mountain High. There's nothing there because there was no project assigned in our distribution. This portion is coming from the distribution. And we still have fishing tours and lessons, ski lesson stores. That's coming from the 32 hours of the account distribution. But the 8 hours that was assigned to directly to our Rocky Mountain High project and to the Bike Tours and Lessons Profit Center is now the $1,115.38, and additionally the employer's expenses of payroll taxes and benefits. So the salary time allocation has taken care of assigning the details specifically for what happened in this particular pay run.